But we all have a choice. The choice is you can let the outside noise affect you or drive you. What's it going to be?
But he is going to be met hard and met fast by number 31 of that defense, Daryl Green, a name that I have said again and again tonight. Daryl Green making a huge tackle.
Welcome to the 24/7 podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Today's topic, we'll be going into the current state of the Carolina Panthers. With them firing Matt Rule, we have to look at a couple of things going on with Baker Mayfield and that team. And we also have to look at players who can potentially be on the move. You're a struggling team. You're sitting at 1-4. Things aren't looking great. Do you want to move some of your stars, some of your borderline stars, get some draft capital, and load up in this draft? Start the rebuild process now. Looking at a couple of things. Baker Mayfield, he has a 16.6 QBR. QBR is on a scale from 1 to 100. Do you think 16.6 is good? Seriously, do you think 16.6 out of 1 to 100 is a good QBR? No, it's not. It's nowhere near good. It's not even average. It's not average. And we look at a 31st guy. Baker Mayfield is ranked dead last in QBR, 32 NFL starting quarterbacks, he's 32. Looking at 31, Joe Flacco, he's ranked 14 points above. This is a guy who has a 30 QBR versus a guy who has a 16.6 QBR. Joe Flacco is playing better than Baker Mayfield. That's really what it comes down to right now. Joe Flacco is playing better than Baker Mayfield. This is the guy who left Baltimore, couldn't perform in Baltimore, won the Super Bowl, and disappeared. This is that same guy. He's performing better than the former Heisman, former number one overall pick, and this is just embarrassing. I'm not here to place all the blame on Baker Mayfield because those receivers aren't on the same page with Baker Mayfield, and that's leading to some of the struggles, to some of the third down miscommunications. They're just not converting on third down right now. They're not looking good. Even in the rushing game, they're averaging 89 rushing yards per game. They're ranked in the bottom half of the league. Christian McCaffrey, he's basically doing it all right now. He's performed well in a couple of games, receiving and running. But outside of that, DJ Moore, him and Baker Mayfield just don't have that connection. He doesn't have that connection with any of those guys. And now that I fired my head coach, I see I'm a 1-4 ball club. I tried to go all in. I got Baker on a prove-it deal. I thought with the team that we had surrounded with him, Brian Burns, J.C. Horn, all of those guys, I thought that would work. That would be something, but it's nothing. It hasn't been anything. So now I'm picking up that phone. I need to get some draft capital. The draft class is loaded. A lot of guys that we can help rebuild our team. And I wouldn't even want to say rebuild because they have some pieces. But we look at those quarterbacks in that draft. And yeah, that will really interest them right now. They have to be in the quarterback market going into this draft. And when they get some first round picks, they can load up. Then they can look at all the other areas on the team, replace those guys, or add depth to that position. And now you're working with the team. But I think quarterback is a position that they have to be looking at in the offseason because Baker, he's not that guy. He's not that guy, especially for your team, if anything. He hasn't performed well. Like I said, ranked last in QBR in the NFL. 14 points lower than the next man at 31. That's unacceptable, Baker. And now we're looking at teams who they should call. The first team I'm picking up the phone with is the Buffalo Bills. I've said in a previous video, I think the Buffalo Bills should be inquiring about Saquon Barkley, but I stand corrected. They're still winning. They're 4-1. Keep Saquon Barkley. There's only but so much weeks going ahead of the trade deadline, and you trade him, that wouldn't really make sense. You're winning a lot of games. Go for it. I really love what Brian Daboll has been able to do for the Giants. We see the difference that coaching makes. We see the difference that coaching makes positively and negatively. Look at Nathaniel Hackett. And with Nathaniel Hackett going into that team, I think that's another team who you can pick up the phone with. But that really depends on the direction that you want to take this team, because the Broncos trade package will revolve more around players than picks. Like I said, they traded their picks for Russell Wilson, so they're really stripped as far as draft picks. Good draft picks at that. When you get on the phone and you're trying to trade Christian McCaffrey, you want the best package you can get. I think the Buffalo Bills, it goes hand in hand for both teams because they have the package, they have the draft picks available, and you add Christian McCaffrey to the Buffalo Bills, I think that vaunts them into the Super Bowl. I really think that launches them into the Super Bowl, makes them a lock in the AFC, because right now they're blowing teams out. We see what they did to the Steelers. They're looking great right now. They had a couple hiccups so far, but every team has its hiccups. But overall, they're still looking like the best team in the AFC right now. The Chiefs are making a case to overtake them, but right now, I'm still riding with Buffalo. And they add Christian McCaffrey. Now this is a whole different ball game. This is a whole different team you're preparing for. And I think he really fits the mold because the Bills, they like to have their passing game as an extension of their running game. Christian McCaffrey, what does he do best? Catch the ball out of the backfield. That's why I think he's a perfect fit for that team, why they should pick up that phone. If they want players, then they should call the Broncos. And I also think DJ Moore is a guy who potentially can be on the move as well. We're looking at the Packers. We're looking at the Ravens. Teams like that who need receiver help. And those guys should also be on the phone calling them because they need players. This isn't your year, Carolina. Go ahead and blow it up. Get the draft capital. Try again. Make another run next year.